We also really recommend using a consistent routine to circle time, so it's presented in a similar or the same format every time. Again, kids like to know what to expect. They like to know what's coming next, and using visual schedules for this is great so that kids are really prepared about what they're going to be asked to do next and how much time is left during circle time.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Flaghouse Sensory Channel. I'm your host Chris, and this week I'm here with Claire Heffron from the Inspired Treehouse, and we are looking at circle time tips and strategies. Yeah. So what are some of the barriers that you're going to find in getting kids to engage in circle time?
Yeah, sure. So I think teachers see a lot of the same common themes happening during circle time. We'll see kids who struggle with attention, so they're really struggling to pay attention to whatever content the teacher's trying to provide, which is significant because usually that's where a preschool teacher or a kindergarten teacher, early elementary teacher is looking to start introducing those academic concepts. So we don't want kids missing that time. We also see kids who have sensory processing needs, so they're wiggly, they're fidgety, they have a hard time attending for those reasons. And then something that I think goes overlooked very often is kids who struggle with decreased core strength. So they look like they might be struggling with attention, they're wiggly, they have a hard time sitting on the carpet or on the floor unsupported, and a lot of times they have a hard time attending just because they can't get comfortable because they're having a hard time holding themselves up.
Okay, interesting. So what are some of the strategies that you use to overcome those barriers?
Yeah, so we talk a lot about making a really smooth transition to circle time. So a lot of times kids are playing in the classroom and then they have to get taken away from their preferred activity to come to maybe a less preferred activity, which is circle time. So we use timers and any kind of visual cue like this where you can show kids how much time is left is a really great strategy for this. So really letting them know like, hey, we're counting down, we only have this much time left can kind of help make that transition. Also, being prepared is a huge one. So making sure that you have, if you're showing a video or if you're playing a song, you have that all ready to go right away. If you're reading a book, making sure everything is quick on the draw, because very often you'll lose kids during that wait time and everybody kind of starts feeding off of each other. It becomes harder to keep everybody's attention.
Yep.
Fidget toys are also really useful, so having something that kids can hold on their lap and hold in their hands and play with while the teacher's introducing a new concept or while they're practicing letter sounds or reading a book, that's a nice way to keep kids engaged. And then a lot of times we'll also use fine motor activities, so something that doesn't have a whole lot of visual interest, but just a really simple put-in task. So they're taking a small object and putting it repetitively into a container. It's kind of the same idea. They're giving them something to do with their hands while they're listening, so it's not taking the attention away from the task. We also really recommend using a consistent routine to circle time, so it's presented in a similar or the same format every time. Again, kids like to know what to expect. They like to know what's coming next, and using visual schedules for this is great so that kids are really prepared about what they're going to be asked to do next and how much time is left during circle time. We also talk about how we position kids. So we use our floor spots like all day long when we're working in play groups or therapy groups or in the classroom. These are such a great visual prompt for kids to know where to sit and where to keep their body, how to cue them to remain in their own space so that they're not touching their peers. It's just a really nice cue for everybody. For kids who need a little bit of movement, we'll use the wiggle seats for just a little kind of a similar vibe as the floor spots, but it gives them a little bit of movement input while they're sitting during circle time. So any kind of alternative seating option like that, using different stools, different seats that move, is a really positive way to help kids attend better during circle time. We also use the move cube. So if you're introducing letter sounds or counting those basic concepts, it's a great way to kind of write different movements on the faces of the cube and have the group work together to roll out, what movement are we going to do for our days of the week? We're going to stomp it out today. So everybody's moving while they're learning.
Excellent. So we've got some great different strategies there to help with circle time. Claire, thank you so much for all these great activity ideas. There is, of course, a full blog post on the Inspired Treehouse, and we're going to make sure we put a link down in the description so you can go and check that out. Thanks again for your time. And remember, if you like videos like this, please make sure you subscribe to the Flaghouse Sensory channel, where we have a new video every single week. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.